Okay, folks, we're going up a very steep hill, and hopefully the traffic opens up, but I have some good news for you. I have some very good news for you if you're a Christian, some very bad news for you if you're an atheist. Richard Dawkins was recently in a debate. He got destroyed in this debate, and his opponent, I don't really know the guy who was his opponent, to be honest with you. It's a name I've never heard before, but his opponent, hold on a second, used science to win the debate. But here's the thing that's bad news for atheists, good news for Christians. During the debate, Dawkins conceded that there could be a very good case. He said there is a very strong case for God. A very strong, not weak. He said there is a very strong case for God's existence. Now, a friend of mine sent me this article, and I was reading it, and basically what the article is there was a lady, I believe her name is Melanie something, and she's a reporter for the UK Telegraph. And she went to one of these debates, and she said she never had gone before, but she had heard of Richard Dawkins. And Richard Dawkins, she said, if the article was, is Richard Dawkins still evolving? And it talked about how Richard Dawkins used to say that anyone that believes in God is just as wrong as someone that believes in fairies and Santa and stuff like that, or Father Christmas, as Dawkins says. But now she says that Dawkins is backtracked, he's backpedaled, and he is now admitting that a very strong case for God's existence is there. So now we have, this is very bad news for atheists, we have the #1 most famous atheist in the world saying that there is a very strong case for God's existence. Now, as I bow my head very, very humbly, I want you to know that I've won 25 debates in a row. Let's pick up throttle. With atheists versus atheists. Boing, I always hit that bump there. 25 debates in a row. I've challenged Seth the Thunderfoot, the Amazing Atheist, Non-Stamp Collector to a debate. All three are afraid to debate me. They don't want to do it. You know, a lot of them will have videos why I refuse to debate a creationist. Well, that basically means you're never going to debate a Christian then, because Christians believe that God created. Let's cut down the middle here and then we'll come back. So now, what will atheists do now that the #1 atheist, most famous atheist in the world, admits that a powerful case for God's existence exists? I got to go to the right here, so leaning. As long as that truck don't get in my way, I'll be okay. So I want to invite everybody to watch this debate below. Go to shotgunowl.net. You'll see a video of the debate, and it's just amazing how all these atheists are starting to flip-flop and come to God. For example, Christopher Hitchens' brother, Peter Hitchens, was a avid atheist. He now is a on-fire Christian. He has basically turned his back on the fairy tale, the fictional make-believe worldview of atheism. Anthony Flew, who was a very vocal atheist, I believe Dr. William Lane Craig debated him also and won that debate. I know he won that debate, but yeah, it was Craig that debated Anthony Flew. Anthony Flew, before he died, became a theist. He renounced atheism. I myself was an atheist, and thank God I have left the stupidity and madness of atheism. I think as Christians, we should never apologize for saying how stupid and idiotic atheism is. I think it's important that we speak truth as Christians. We love the people that are stuck in the slavery of atheism, but I think it's good and moral and just and right to call the Antichrist worldview of atheism what it is, which is stupidity and madness. Now, we know it's stupidity and madness. Now we have even Richard Dawkins, who used to say that people are deluded to believe in God. Now Richard Dawkins has changed his mind. He now says a good case for God's existence can be made because he's listening to Dr. William Lane Craig, people like Dinesh D'Souza, people like Lee Strobel. These are people that have better arguments for God's existence than Richard Dawkins has for God's non-existence. And it's good to see Richard Dawkins coming around to reality, admitting now that God can exist. Look up that article in the UK Telegraph, and he also says, he doesn't say, well, there might be a slight chance, there might be a slight argument. He says there's a very good argument for God's existence, very strong argument. He uses the word strong. So my atheist friends, what you gonna do? What you gonna do now that you know that atheism is not true? What you gonna do? Oh, I told you guys, why didn't you trust Shock? See, I'm like your uncle, Uncle Shock. You should have trusted me. I told you atheism was madness, my atheist friends. Now you got Richard Dawkins, the #1 atheist in the world, flip-flopping, saying, okay, yes, God can exist.